statement. That is a statement.
The knockout blow. A single shot that ends a fight instantaneously. And where most fighters are broke down round by round to then receive the brutal ending, some can happen at a lot sooner than expected. With first-round knockouts being such a rarity these days, we thought we'd bring to you a second part of our highly successful video, displaying another 25 first-round KOs that sent shockwaves through the boxing world.
Before the first fight was that Griffin was simply more trash than Roy Jones compactor. Roy Jones is a 5-1 favorite to prove that was true the first time. It will be true again the second time.
5 months on after his disqualification loss in their first fight, Roy Jones Jr. went to town on Montel Griffin for a second time with the intention of righting a wrong.
Calls it a knockdown, saying that only the ropes kept Griffin up.
After managing to drop Griffin in the first 20 seconds, things had already started to look good for Jr. And with 40 seconds left to spare, he managed to redeem himself with a devastating finish.
Whoa, what a left hook. What a left hook.
Second knockdown of the round.
That was a leaping left hook, and Griffin may not survive it.
And that's that. Jones gets his vindication via a first-round knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the undefeated challenger, David Tua.
Probably one of the fastest finishes on our list, the night David Tua finally burst onto the world scene, not failing to impress as he steamrolled through John Ruiz just 19 seconds into the bout.
Tua Ruiz is rocked in the first 20 seconds of the bout. Down goes Ruiz. He takes a vicious left-hand shot on the way down, and it's unlikely he'll be getting up, and Tony Perez says enough. Whoa!
Three-division world champions and former lightweight king, El Niño de Oro, Jorge Linares.
A bounce back to more recent times now. After his recent defeat to Lomachenko, Linares' comeback winning streak didn't last long, as a step up against a heavy-handed 140-pounder shown the exact reason why boxing has weight classes.
He's all over the place, and Callow on the verge of a big win, and he's got it! What an upset here! And it might be the end of his amazing career at 33.
I'm very, very happy. I'm very content because all my career I've been wanting a victory of this magnitude against a great fighter like Jorge Linares. And what better way to win it than in this fashion?
After 18 wins in a row, British prospect Amir Khan was about to receive an alarming wake-up call.
Got this new trainer, and he's hurt by a shot, and he's another.
In what was possibly one of the biggest upset knockout defeats in British boxing history, when Colombian puncher Prescott shook the world with an unexpected stoppage.
Oh, it's going to have to be stopped. He's flattened in the corner. Oh, these are desperate moments for Amir Khan. 51 seconds down twice, and your world must have fallen apart.
Made a little mistake in there, and just couldn't get it back again.
When it comes to prospects, Edgar Berlanga is certainly making noise at a super middleweight, and in his 16th fight he managed to yet again surpass expectations, sending a chilling statement to the rest of the division, blasting out Ulysses Sierra in the last minute of the round.
For a moment. He's down again. It's over. The streak continues. 16 for 16. We got a star in Vegas.
I'm not Canelo. I'm not Muhammad Mugia. I'm none of those guys, and that's why I told him after the fight. I said, you know where the real dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, once and for all, let's get ready to rumble 12 rounds for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
I'll hop back to one of the most iconic moments of the sport, when a young and hungry version of Iron Mike made history, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion of his era.
In a professional fight.
And he's down again and in serious trouble.
Instead of covering up, and because he wanted to fight back, he got knocked out.
My trainer told me before I left, I bet both of our purses that you knock him out in the first round. So I thought he was serious, so just now he said he was lying. And so I went out and knocked him out in the first round.
After unfortunate loss at elite level against Terrence Crawford, Jeff Horn's first fight back took a turn for the best after breaking down Mundine early, stopping him with a punch-perfect left hook.
Like I said, he couldn't have went to a better guy. It was God's will, and God willing, this guy can go on and do good things.
Known heavyweight sensation Ken Norton was never shy when it came to letting his hands go. But coming off the back from a loss to Ali, he was soon to return to his old winning ways after stunning Dwayne Bobbick with an overhand right.
And if we meet Ali again, it's going to be a heck of a different story. A heck of a different story because he'll put more pressure on him. It's going to be Ali. I don't think Ali will want it, period.
I will knock this fool out. He may not get up. It ain't no hoping and wishing that he going to get up because he may not. I expect them to make some funeral arrangements.
Speaking of knockout artists, they don't come any more dangerous than Alibama's own Bronze Bomber.
With 19 first-round victories, we might get something very dramatic and very potent.
In being labeled possibly the hardest hitting heavyweight of all time, his bout with Dominic Breazeale turned out to be yet another lamb to the slaughter as the last 60 seconds of the round approached.
You're not a step over, I'm stepping down to you.
Former opponent of Deontay's, Chris Arreola, also pulled off his first ever first-round knockout when he took on Seth Mitchell for the WBC International Heavyweight title.
Bend his knees, stay inside. Now he is nothing but a target. Jack Reese intervenes. Arreola in an onslaught towards the first round. Stoppage. 31 knockout wins for Arreola.
Love to both you. Buena suerte a los dos. Todas las manos. Touch gloves.
It wasn't just Cotto and Margarito that stoked the Mexico versus Puerto Rico fire, but shortly before, Daniel Ponce de Leon versus Juanma Lopez kick-started off a southpaw collision that was on its toes from the very beginning.
And down goes Ponce de Leon.
After a mid-round knockdown, Lopez had seemed to be taking flight at a quick pace, and then applying non-stop pressure, he managed to get the job done in swift fashion.
Another perfect hook. Another perfect hook. Michael Ortega's got to make a decision now. Tremendous first-round knockout performance for Juan Manuel Lopez. What a debut at the top of the sport.
Under no circumstances will this be a beauty contest. These are two of boxing's better brawlers.
One fight prior to his emphatic showdown with Eubank, the Dark Destroyer made another defense of his WBO belt. And after pulling himself back from an early onslaught against a tough opponent, gaining 2 knockdowns, he managed to give the referee no choice but to call it a night.
A reminder, the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. And there goes Barkley down to the ground. Is that the 3rd knockdown, Alex? What's the 3rd knockdown? The fight is over. A first round win for Nigel Benn.
Stepping in with Poland's Andreas Fonfara, Smith Jr.'s performance was nothing short of sharp, calculated that night, chomping him down bit by bit, gaining a knockdown, followed by a solid finish.
Came here today to prove a point that I belong in here with the best, and I proved that tonight.
The odds makers have their answer, making him a slight favorite, despite the fact he was dominated in the original by Carlos Quintana.
After a surprising loss to the underdog in their first encounter, Paul Williams managed to redeem himself in quite the fashion in the rematch, when he stunned and put down Carlos Quintana in an unexpected turn of events.
What a reversal of fortune, another left lands. Quintana's in trouble. Claudio steps in. The fight is over. What a bounce back by Paul Williams, who recaptures the title in emphatic fashion.
What was perhaps the quickest knockout we've seen for some time, the South African southpaw surely was proving to be a force to be reckoned with, pulling off a show-stopping finish just 5 seconds into the opening round.
The fight is all over with the first punch of the fight. He has caught him with an immense shot with the first punch of the fight.
First shot.
Down he went.
Yeah.
Who would you like to face next in this red hot division?
I would love to fight Ryan Bernard. He must come forward and we do this thing.
2 years into his professional career, Errol Spence Jr. was on a seek and destroy mission, as he tore through opposition, proving timelessly he was one to look out for.
Spence has him on the ropes. 10 seconds and that's it. Referee steps in. It is over. 7th time he's knocked out his opponent in the first round.
It's time for our featured bout of the evening. 12 rounds for the WBA Bantamweight Championship of the World.
Synonymous with knockouts, Japan's pound-for-pound monster displayed some of the most flawless performances throughout the Bantamweight Super Series, and after gaining a blistering knockout against Carlos Payano in the quarterfinal, it appeared he could quite comfortably go all the way.
As you hit it, he immediately crumpled down. Did you feel like it was over for him when you landed that thudding right hand?
I felt my fist was right into his eye, so I thought you can finish the fight.
It was a turning point that could make or break the Mayweather protege the night he got stopped by Edwards, as he was handed his first loss in the way of a shocking knockout defeat.
Now he's smiling there, sort of an ironic smile, because he's saying, I can't believe this is happening to me, I'm okay. Yeah. But he wasn't okay. There he fell on his face trying to get up. And this, you can't even question Charlie Fitch's decision there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. You told me the other day that you're looking for a rematch with Derek Edwards.
From a business point of view, we don't need that fight. But I want it for my pride.
Jim, in my opinion, it is not a matter of if Mike Tyson knocks out Marvis Frazier, but it's just a matter of when.
The first 2 years of Mike's career was nothing but a whirlwind, and amongst the reel of endless knockout wins, Marvis Frazier was one of many to taste the iron fist of the 5'10" wrecking machine.
Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt.
Frazier is down, and he's going to stop the fight. It did not last 20 seconds.
You said that you feel fear before a fight. Did you have any fear for this fight, and how do you deal with that fear?
Well, I use the fear to reflect it on my opponent, because fear I use as my friend. It's my friend. If I don't have it, I don't fight.
Back to one of our modern-day thunderous heavyweights now, as Deontay Wilder's early knockout of Lajkovic did more than just send him to sleep, but sent his mind and body into orbit.
Left hand shown by Wilder. There's a right hand, drives Lajkovic into the ropes. Down he goes. And it's over. Just like that.
That was scary. He was right in front of his barrier, and he was spasming when he went down.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's okay now, or appears to be okay.
Murat Gassiev says tonight's important to him. He needs to look spectacular. He believes he's the one to bring some luster to the cruiserweight division.
Before entering the Super Series 4 years ago, Murat Gassiev's knockout of Jordan Schimmel sent spines tingling, as he remained composed and walked his opponent down to eventually land a harrowing left hook.
By knockout and remaining undefeated.
When they say it's the ones you don't see coming that do the damage, Bracero's swift reactions certainly backed up that old cliche after he walked O'Connor onto a counter right hand.
And going down, Bracero has put down O'Connor. It's over. The right has finished it.
He needs a southpaw. I had to step out to the left side, you know what I'm saying, and just come with the right hand. It landed. It worked.
The tail of the tape. Majewski, the older fighter, the taller fighter, and he has the reach.
After his loss against the mighty Kazakh, Curtis Stevens' first fight back turned out quite the success, when he managed to knock down his opponent multiple times in the first few seconds of the round.
Majewski is down again.
To then, shortly after, end him with a barrage of punches.
This fight's over. Now a third time, and that's the fight. It is over. That was less than a minute in.
Separate myself from a person who respects Roy Jones and go into the different side of a guy who wants to not just beat Roy Jones, but to knock Roy Jones out, because that's going to do amazing things for my career.
The back end of Roy's career was never as fruitful as it should have been. After surpassing his prime, the losses soon racked up, and yet another saddening sight came from the hands of Australia's Danny Green, dropping Jones and stopping him 2 minutes into the round.
And Danny Green is on the verge of history. This is going to finish in 1 round. The crowd roars. Green fires.
And last but not least, Julius Ndongo's performance in Moscow quickly put him on the map after he snatched the titles off Troyanovsky in devastating fashion.
Stay right there. Stop. Come here. Stay right there.
IBF world champion, baby. Undefeated.